Hey y'all, it's Clint Baker from Hillbilly Hippie Honeybees. So today, it's a beautiful day. We're watching some pollen come in here into the hives that are active. And what I want to do today is go over some of the questions and comments and different things that you all left below on the last video that we did, talking about the losses that we had in the one single out yard that we have, where we lost all 9 colonies. And so there was a lot of good comments, a lot of good questions, and I thought I'd just take an opportunity to go over some of those and then tell you what we truly found out, what we truly think the issue was, and then get set up for what we're going to do to recover from all this. So please stick around. Like and subscribe to our channel and hit the notification button, and let's get with it. All right, so again, we're going to go over some of the comments and questions that you all had from that video. And the first one was from Art2 Farm, and we want to thank you. You was very sorry for our losses. We appreciate that. We know that it's part of the game, if you will, and so you had expressed some concerns about the black plastic pallets, and we don't believe that it was the black plastic pallets. Those pallets had been here for a long time. We've used them before, and we don't think that it had anything to do with the pallets. But that was a good thought to think about. It was maybe some toxins or something that had been on those. At John Henry-B1B, you're talking about the same scenarios that we talked about with the very strong colonies absconding because of being pollen bound and honey bound. We think that that's the very big possibility that what it was. We'll talk about some more of it at the end, but we definitely do believe that that is one of the big contributing factors of what did happen to our 9 colonies that we lost. And so that was good. So we appreciate that comment on there, and you telling us that you've had the same stuff happen to you. And so another person on here, Navarra Hills Ranch, talking about the mite loads, and talking about how you want to keep your mite loads at 2% or lower. Yeah, we like to keep our mite loads under that 3% for us. We found that that's always worked, and you know, when we say under, you know, around 2% or less. But you know, you talked about losing 50% of your colonies in last year's winter, and possibly due because of mite loads and such. We will try to we're going to try to do some different things when it does come to varroa mite inspections and things like this next year coming up. So appreciate that. East Kentucky, or East KY Ancients. So you were talking about too, about having some about 5 out of your 7 colonies that you had lost due to heavy pollen and heavy honey loads. No brood anywhere, you said. So I think there's a theme here, right, that we've all talked about, and maybe this is something that you've had in the past. Somebody that didn't comment, maybe it's a newer beekeeper that didn't know that you could get pollen bound up on top of being honey bound, and in doing so, that does create a lot of issues to where the queen can't lay. And so if she can't lay, she's going to probably abscond with her entire colony. So John Marshall 6572 was talking about queen pheromones, poor pheromones, you know, and such. That could have been an issue. That could have been there was a couple of them that weren't bound so much by pollen and honey, so, and there was a little bit of place for her to lay, so that could have been an issue in those couple hives, that maybe it was a weaker queen that we hadn't replaced maybe she just wasn't doing well. There's so many ifs, ands, and buts when it comes to beekeeping, and you just got to try to figure out in your own way what's going on. Just take all the facts and figure it out. So that could have been one of the issues in a couple of the colonies. So thank you for mentioning that, and we're passing that along to other beekeepers out there. Let's see, Ravenshire Farms apiary. So you might have been right. It could have been Junior spoiling them. So for those of you that don't know, Junior is this is his place that we keep these bees on. He's got a couple there as well where he's learning how to become a beekeeper, but he goes out there and sings to them a lot and different things. Maybe they didn't like he's singing. Maybe he ran them off. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. That singing could have drove him off. So that was a funny comment. We appreciate that. Kathy Hathaway 8823. You said I had the same thing happen to me, but mine was 10 colonies over 3 different outyards. So again, another theme of the too much pollen and too much honey being bound going into the winter. So it sounds to me like we've got a theme going on here again that we may have had an issue with. So thank you for telling us that and ensuring that it may not be that. Let's see, at John -Q3T. Again, you're talking about mite loads, 3% being too high in your opinion. And yeah, I mean, that is high. And you're saying that you never go over 2%. You know, maybe that's an adjustment we can make, is to say, to push ours down to 2% and just see in that Beeyard out there if that's going to be an issue. But we appreciate the feedback. We appreciate the comments. Plus, you know, a lot of new beekeepers read these comments and they learn from that. So anyway, so Vincent Kozlowski, if I pronounced that wrong, I apologize. Let's see, you're in the lower Hudson Valley of New York, and you know, you were asking about environmental issues, pesticides, chemtrails, and EMFs. So those are some interesting topics that we should consider. Maybe there should be some studies done, especially on the chemtrails and the EMFs. Are they really affecting honeybees? You know, that would be something we'd like to dig into and just see as far as that goes. So let's see here. Burl Helms, you're just talking about different splits and talking again about the same thing we've been talking about with the pollen and the honey being bound. So again, seems like a big theme going on here when we talk about that and all. Let's see here real quick. Uncle Junior, does anybody do crop dusting nearby? David does every now and again. He'll crop dust walking by. Oh, you're talking about true crop dusting. So yeah, I don't think so. There's not a lot of that we see going on in that area. It's back in the woods, so we don't see a lot of that nearby there. Let's see. Another one talking about 3% mites and all that. Michael P. Coffee. So talking about small hive beetles, you lost 11 colonies to absconding to 11 to hive beetles. We didn't have any signs of hive beetles. That yard all the way up to the last inspection, hardly any sign at all. So I doubt it is. And even afterwards, you know, the sliming and things like that, we didn't see that going on. So I doubt that that's what it was, but that is something to consider for sure. Kentucky Bob. So you only lost 3 out of 19. That was great. That is a big blessing for sure, like you're saying. So, but same thing you're talking about, plenty of resources there. Minnesota Beekeeper. So you said that you got to have breakfast with Randy Oliver and got to show him this, and he was surprised. Well, we did know about the lemongrass. So what he's talking about is if you have some absconding and you don't want the wax moths to get in there, that you can put the lemongrass oil in there, and they don't like that smell. It'll push them away. So that will help with that. And if you think about it, when you put out swarm traps, you put that in there, and you don't get, if you keep them baited, you don't get any wax moths in there most of the time. Be happy to have Randy comment on the bottom of this down here and give us his feedback on that. So if you wouldn't mind, have him do that. That'd be great to have somebody, his expertise, give us a little commenting. Let's see here. Paul Howard 822. He says he's in Charleston. That's just right up the road from us. We're in Nitro. He's in Charleston, literally 20 minutes away. And half of his are in, let's see, I suspect that he's lost over half of his. He's asking where these are located. Paul, these are located out towards Sissonville. So that's where this yard was located at. And we're not giving up on this yard. We're going to put more bees back in there because it's too good of an area to not try it again. So actually some of the ones you see behind me here, we're going to take out there so that we can get the honey producing, hopefully, and make that up a little bit. Larry D. 9245. Let's see. You say you're a dumb bunny from Ohio. I don't believe Ohioans are dumb, but if that's what you say. You was talking about the uninsulated commercial type hives overwintering bad. We've not ever had an issue with that as far as that goes. Usually going into winter, we have pretty strong colonies and they're able to fend for themselves in there. Now, if we've got an area that has a lot of wind coming through, we do try to put up a windbreak or something like that, but we don't normally have an issue with these style of hives. The reason why we use them is because we do want to produce honey, and these are, for us, the easiest ones to produce honey in. Robert McNabb -NQ3HE. So you ask, what about wasp pedation? Didn't see any issue with that. No yellow jackets, no red wasps, nothing of that nature. But that is something to look at for you new beekeepers. Let's see, Eric Christensen 9836. Ask about power lines and ask about 5G towers. We don't have any of those nearby there. And again, back to the comment earlier, that would be a good study to do, maybe a test to do, to see if there is any issues with those out there. So, you know, maybe that's something that we need to get some of the smarter than us West Virginia hillbillies to get a hold of and look at. So that might be something good for the Randy Olivers and the Bob Bennies and the Cayman Reynolds and of the world to get out there and help us see. All right. Brandon Leggett 2270. Yeah, we need to get David's Star Trek phone updated for sure. His flip phone, he's actually got a good phone, but I need to get in there and help him set his camera up a little bit better so that he can record under 4G and at, what is it, 1020 per frame per second, so that it'll look a little bit more clear. So yes, he is, we need to help him with that, but he does a great job. Other than that, I think he gets a little nervous and a little worried about being on camera, but we all think he does a great job, and he can use all the moral support he can get for sure. Let's see, Good Doggy 3257. You ask, what treatments did we use last year? So we use oxalic acid for most of our quick treatments. We do use Apivar as well. We've used other treatments, but we try to bounce around on our treatments just so that they don't get used to it. Yeah, we try to bounce around on our treatments just so we know that they don't get used to what we're doing. So, but all right, so finally, what do we come to the conclusion? Well, we did come to the conclusion that we do feel that the majority of it was that they were honey bound, and that they were pollen bound, and they absconded. She didn't have anywhere to lay. We do think that maybe there was some other issues with some of it as well, maybe a couple of the hives, but who knows really at this point. And finally, what are we going to do to rebuild this yard amongst others? So we'll do another video on that, but for those of you that stuck around to the end, we're going to take the majority of our existing bee colonies that we have, and we're going to move them out to that yard, and we're going to move them to another yard that's out in the country on the other side of the county from them. And then we are going to actually go buy some packaged bees, and we're going to try, and hopefully with all of the comb that we have, that we can get a jump start. And we likely won't get much, if any, spring honey pull out of those, but we hope to get a good fall honey pull out of those, especially that we know how good that yard is out there. So that we'll do another video on that to show you where we're getting them from, because I think you guys will be surprised and love where we're getting them from and who we're getting them from. And I also think that it'll just be a good time to show how to install packaged bees to the new beekeepers, and explain again what happened and how we're getting through this. So, well, that's it. Again, we'd like for you all to like and subscribe to our channel, and hit the button there to alert you whenever all this stuff, we download some of these things. And we just we thank you all for stopping by and giving us your opinions and asking your questions. And again, down below, give us more. If you've thought of more, if you've had more issues, or somebody new, go ahead and give us what you think down below. So, all right, well, God bless each of you, and we will see you on the next go.